Let's go in and mofo. It's Tuesday, February 6th. So if you're tuning in later, you may want to get on the live one. I'm going to turn on Do Not Disturb. And then go over and YouTube Studio. Content. Live. I don't know why I can't monetize through OBS, but morning, Joe. Hey, Joe, I think I may go and drive the new Highland Model 3 today. They're letting you transfer your, morning, Chris, full self-driving. So, I may go do that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna eat morning, John. Let's see. Live. Oh, I got an ad. Daddy just got paid. Is there an inside buy? Morning, Sherry. At 568. Lily killed it. Lily killed it. And I don't see a downside. Honestly, I don't see a downside. So kudos to Naked City. Not only for being in a naked city, but for getting in on that one. I gotta do some scans. SMCI will get to a 700. And it did last night. That's why I think it will get again. Everything I've heard about the Highland says the opposite, Joe. But I'm going to see it for myself. Just Tesla's being a little bitch. About me having to talk to salespeople before I get in the car. I get it, but come on. I'm not looking to, walk out of there today with a car. They're getting more and more like a car company. Naked City. You are a Naked City, man, because I've seen those fish shows. Good deal, Sherry. Sherry, there is a significant, it's up above 20, so I would absolutely sell it right now if you want. It's broken through there. It's got to hold $19. Let me get to the thing. $19.80. If it does not hold $19.80, I would sell it. I mean, I would just get out of it. But over 20, that's a significant stretch of valuation, even on their upward revisions. But long term, that's a long-term stock. If you want to hold it for a year to bring the taxes down, I think that's a good plan as well. Oh, levered ETFs, it's all bull. Bulls, USD, SDOW, that's the short Dow, UPRO. But yeah, Palantir, I looked at it yesterday with somebody from Facebook, the Facebook group. Chris, they know I'm a current Tesla owner. They know I've already gotten a price on my current car. Good morning, Brandon. Larry. Hey, Larry. Oh, let me look. Brandon, thank you for the gift. Larry, thank you for the gift. You guys are awesome. I posted in the. By the way, it was a. I was kind of joking, semi-joking, but I want people to realize I really don't make any money doing this. I posted sorry, I don't get money from Facebook, but I posted yesterday in the group my YouTube earnings. And I'll show you. Just so everyone's aware. September I made $10. October I made $13. November I made $23. December $29. January I made $37. So, morning Mike. Morning Rabbit Badger. Yeah. So, when you tip me, it's nice because A, I know that you made money because I do not ask for tips unless you make money. If I lose you money, you can ask me for money back. It's not always the way that it works. But maybe I'll give you a free month of the newsletter if you lost money. Receipts will need to be provided for proof. But yeah, Chris. Oh, is Elf today? Let's see how that's setting up. I don't know why this. I think it's the ad blocker that does it. I do have ad blocking paused on here. I am so sorry to eat in your earbud. I'm trying to get Alpha's up 1.27. BUG. Spider sectors. XLC, XLG. The not owned K-Web Palantir is yep. Sundial. Sundial, I don't know what it is. Arista Networks. This is an interesting one, and I'll talk a little bit about it. This could be, and potentially is, the next SMCI. That's true. I have that receipt too. Yeah, it's like a dagger. You guys like just poking at me. But yeah, Palantir's let me look at this. Wolf Financial. Do we have any? No, nothing on theirs. I do want to look at that though. Who are they suggesting? I think they do it every week. They're still in Moderna, which is nuts. But you do this for volatility. NXE has been a solid gainer. TSLT, 2 times long. Why would you be in TSLT? Ugh, that makes no sense. TSLL? You're out of your mind. DraftKings, they have their earnings coming up. I mean, this has just been continuing to print, and I'm out of it. PDD has been a solid. It got off that train. I didn't even realize. I thought it was on that train. And NVDL is just crazy. This better be in my. It's not. NVDL and NVDS. Why is that not in my? Just be forewarned. Forewarned. Kramer now likes Palantir. There's a reason I'm telling you to sell this mofo. At 20. I think you will. I mean, it's up 20%. Norin, how high can it go? I mean, it depends on what your thought on that one is. I mean, you know, remember, GameStop is utter proof. There is no end to the upside. There's an end to the downside, but there is no end to the upside. And GameStop is 100% proof of that. NXPI, O'Reilly, VRSK. Let's go to the S&P. Dude, there are so many here. Wow. So many S&P scanners. Norin, I'll take a look at CELH real quick before I get started. I do have to get going because I got to clean up the house for the housekeeper too. There's a chatty group in here today. Let's look at CELH, even though I may look at. So here's the deal with CELH. I mean, you've got to clear. Ignore the noise. But, I mean, look at the range here. You've got a gap that very well seems to have been covered around 47 there. And you've got a top side of 62. And since August, that has clearly been the range. So right here, when you bounced off, see the MACD bounced up. The 50 days moving down. It's kind of just hovering around the 200-day. But, BlackRock, BLK, is the only S&P 100 that crossed up. That's crazy. But yeah, CELH, let's go back to the strategy tester. Yes. It's not one that I would invest in. It's not something that I particularly think is a good investment. I think I've gone over it several times for folks, Norin. But I mean, when I talk about, how I see stuff, it comes clearly to me that this is a the private equity is out. So, Nevin, sorry. I've lost you on that one too. But the private equity's out. But this one, clearly in a range here. If you can break above that 62, I think you get the next leg up. You can see that on the 4-hour. If you go to a weekly, you can see how it's trending up. But because of that range since August, we can pull this back and you'll even see the range here. You can see the range right. We'll go back to July. Yeah, July 31st. Look at the range. 47 to 60, 69. You can see it clearly there. So And DocU yesterday, it was reported the private equity group thought the valuation was too high. So I think it was rumored, I think, here, but it was definitely confirmed here. I thought it was good. I may hold on to it. It's 100 shares I think I bought during the news cycle. Probably should have sold out when it kind of just crapped out. This is a good example, okay? Here's a one that got up to, looks like 64. 64 right here. Double top there, maybe even triple topped. Tried to break through. You have this slight channel, I would say, since earnings, where in earnings you kind of had a support level here. You've broken down on that support at 51. I would expect, now that it's oversold, we see some type of curve back up, but it's expensive. I mean, make no mistake about it. This is an expensive stock. 213 PE, forward PET of 18. It's expensive. But you can see even here, they've got the top up there. So, okay. QQQ. Let me see. I got to go grab some Seeking Alpha articles. I've got, by the way, just in case you guys, this Walmart cashew cookie, I was looking for energy bars, and I'm not a big fan of, protein bars, really. But I'm not a big fan of all the protein bars that have a ton of like sugar and junk in it, and added sugar, I should say. But this cashew cookie, it's 2 ingredients, and you can even make it at home. And I have a better recipe to make it at home. But it's 2 ingredients. It's cashews and dates, and so it's high in sugar. It's a very caloric dense bar, but it's good. Look at Pinterest. Oh, Pinterest is gonna fly. No, we're not gonna do it. Pinterest could fly. Let me see. Pinterest is coming up. Pins. We'll just, I'll include this as the article for Palantir. Nobody cares about the actual earnings, but if you didn't know too, Simon Property Group reported. This is a solid, it's in the core portfolio. Solid, rise about 6%. Occupancy stands at, I mean, just the guidance underwhelmed. In pre-market, it's up 1.16. Pins is Thursday. Okay. Do I have that? No, I didn't do Thursday. I just did Wednesday. But Simon Property Group reported. We'll include this one for anybody that cares, because it is in the core portfolio. I have held this one in the past. I do not currently own it. NXPI, I think. Yeah. NXP Semiconductors. They reported they killed it with huge guidance. Was this the good guidance? Yeah, inline guidance. Biggest movers of the day. We'll include this. The one that really killed it, well, let's look at Lilly. Because Lilly, Lilly, the valuation of F is just, I mean, that's not even correct, the valuation of F. Because if the valuation of the weight loss drugs is anything, it's going to be huge. I mean, just huge. Quest Bar. Let me look up Quest Bar. Which one? Quest Nutrition. Ooh, chocolate shake. Let's look. Usually I like the apple pie. Oatmeal chocolate chip. I want to see the ingredients. Let's look at the... I'm a chocolate guy. Chocolate brownie protein, but I hate the protein. Ooh, blueberry muffin protein. Let's look at the ingredients. Okay, so we've got calorie count 180. Protein, 20 grams of protein. That's really good. 2 grams of sugar, no added sugar, which is really good. Sodium, a little bit high, 220. Here's the ingredients. Protein blend. That's a lot of ingredients, man. Xanthan gum. Daniel, this is what kills me. So it's no sugars, but it's got sucralose. So that's a no-go for me. And I think a lot of these have the fake sweeteners. So Spotify in the charts. Subscribers beat. I do cover Spotify because you know where you heard about me. GEHC reported. I like this stock, and it ran up too much. It just ran up too much, and I think that's the case of it. But there's no, you know what? I'm going to take it out. It's not in the core portfolio. It's just one that I really like. AMZN. In fact, AMZN, I just signed up for a free, I'll look at RX bar. And focus ahead of Q4 results. AMZN's is today after the bell. Fortinet reports after the bell today. No. Fortinet, there we go. Earnings preview. We'll put this in. I like this one. And, by the way, the problem is that it's the sucralose that kills me. Fortinet, by the way, it's funny because Fortinet, if you look at the quant of Fortinet, it's number 2 in the software stocks. Path is number 1. That's from the quant rating. And so that's why I think it's interesting. And you've got the gap fill that I think is still there. Baba and Uber before the bill. Disney, ARM, and PayPal after hours. SMC. Oh, let me see if this pulls up. Yes. Yes, please pull up. Please pull up. Yes. I will go over this. This is a PE of price to earnings gap of NVIDIA and SMCI. I mean, 51 on SMCI is high. Just understand, historically, that is super high. 91 on NVIDIA is not high whatsoever. But I'll go over that in a little bit. Let me see if there's any news on FinViz that I... Oh, SMCI. SMCI insider buy. Okay. I don't have that much to go over. I've got enough. I'm going to freewheel it. Okay. Because I read super interesting. Josh Brown, I think he's one of the best. I really like him. F you, Ryan. Let me look. DocU, I went over. I have options on DocU. I'm in Palantir for the long haul, just trim because not many people holding above 20. Yep. I don't think, listen, Palantir is, if we go back, here's what I'm going to do for you. So Palantir, I've told you that 1980 you need to hold. If you don't hold that, I think you're going back down to the 17s. And it's not because Palantir is a bad stock. It's just Palantir is expensive. I don't know if they've updated their PE of 185, forward PE of 44. I mean, that's expensive. That is super expensive. And it's not like it's going to get cheaper. But what I want to show you is a long term. We'll look at a monthly. Well, I guess monthly is too long because it doesn't have that many candles. Here's a weekly. And so if you pull this, and this is what I did to get that 1980. This is the sliding volume by price bar on TrendSpider, and you pull it back to highs. I mean, that's where you want to pull it back to, is really the highs, to see where are people holding it. There's a good shelf up here at 22, but the majority of people are between 15 and 17, and that's where they're holding. If you break the 15 level, you got $8 to where people are holding. If you bring this forward a little bit and you look at let's just say, we had that run up from 8. Where are people holding here? Because it was trading between 13 and 18. If we expand that out and look at it, you're really looking at 16 to 17. I mean, that's where you're looking at. So it hasn't opened up today, so we will see if people are buying again. But that $20 just seems to be, you can see here that the top out's 21. Do you care the difference between 20 and 21? So I don't think so. More on Colby. Yeah, BlackRock had a cross up. Ryan, you may be late, be behind. And I'm just responding to your chats now. But yeah, BlackRock has a cross up. Roblox back over 40. Their earnings are coming up tomorrow? Today after the bell. I think I have that in my thing. Earnings Wednesday. Uber. No, I'm going to put in earnings. Roblox. We're going to put in Roblox over here. Summary. That was from Friday, so there's really not much here. Yes, government was highlighted as an opportunity. Here's Wednesday. ARM. Oh, Wednesday. Oh, I guess no. Today's Tuesday. So it's Wednesday. Wait, when do they report? Roblox. They report pre-market tomorrow. Roblox. Okay. Could this pump on earnings? It certainly did. Woohoo. I have oil in my driveway. And girlfriend just got oil change, and the oil guys, NVIDIA over 700. And I left, by the way, I left it trading between 400 and 500. That's an old note. I left the old note in. Expect this one to get 600 before earnings, and if justified, to 650. It got to 700. Both of these are old notes to show how right the trend has been on NVIDIA. Ryan, it's the valuation. I mean, how many people, did you like this thumbnail? I need to put bigger faces in, is what I learned at looking at thumbnails last night. By the way, I don't do great photo editing, so that is the wall behind me when we took the picture. So I'm not great at photo editing. Palantir is the big one. SMCI is up 2%. TSM is up 1%. Is Intel moving at all with any of this? I mean, it's flat. It's flat. I'm tempted to sell, but I don't want to sell, and the reason is, look at how it's responding. It's coming back up. I thought it was going to get a 3 handle, but it looks like it used that 200-day at 41 as kind of a bounce, and you've got a nice volume perspective here to pull it back. You don't have a lot between 43 and 45. Unless I go back to a weekly and we take a look and I pull this back to the highs of 2021. And then you're in no man's land here. I mean, you kind of rejected off that 200-day. 50 days moving positive, but the Bollinger Band should start moving in. NVO. What is NVO? And then I'm going to get into the podcast. I'll go pretty quick today, though. Novo Nordisk. This is one, I mean, they've been on a buying spree. This has been just a... God. It's the weight loss. This is Wegovy. They've purchased, I think, 2 or 3 companies now in the last couple of days to help with the Wegovy distribution, which only helps them. 1 year, you're up 71%. I like this, and I just like Lilly better. The problem is that, you know, look at this. So you've got a forward PE of 29. You got a PE of 43. You look at Lilly. You've got a forward PE of 57 and a PE of 130. Novo is smaller, not able to distribute as much as Lilly is. So that's why your PE is less. But as they purchase some of these smaller pharma companies, and they have the money to do it, because look at the amount of cash that they have on hand. They have income. Let's see, cash 132. They have about $3 billion. It looks like almost $5 billion, 1.32 of cash on hand. So they don't pay a huge dividend. So they don't have huge out costs flowing. They have huge income based on Wegovy and stuff. So I like it. I have Lilly in the core portfolio. And the only reason is because Lilly's an American company. I think Lilly's an American company. And Novo's it's USA. And Novo's from Denmark, so it's the EU. And I think there's significantly more restrictions on the EU than there are here in America. And I think Lilly has a broader range of drugs. Kind of like choosing Pfizer over Moderna and I could be completely wrong, because Moderna blew away from a stock price Pfizer's growth. So I could be completely wrong. I don't know why it says only 13 people are in here on my screen. Let's see the commodities. Natural gas, of course, down. $2, man. $2. ECAT, FCF. There's nothing here, insider buys, that. Yeah, we're about to open up. So I'm gonna go blow my nose. I'll be right back and fill up my glass with water. Okay. Yeah, Brandon, that's the deal. That's why I like Lily. That's why I put them in the core portfolio. By the way, it's interesting because if we go over to Savvy Trader, this is where I'm currently leading. I think I'm leading. Let's see. Portfolios. My portfolios, discover best returns. Let's go 1 week. Am I in the lead? Yes, I'm in the lead, 7%. 1 month? Yes, I'm in the lead, 30%. 3 months? Yes, I'm in the lead, 41%. Year to date? Yes, I'm in the lead, 28%. So 1 year, I'm not good. I remember I just started these in June of last year, so I won't be in the lead for 1 year. If we look at the core portfolio, and this is what I want to show you, is you can look at the gainers in this, and we'll look at the all-time gainers. And SMCI is obviously, you can use this to see my trading portfolio and stuff. SMCI is obviously the biggest winner. Meta is ironically the second biggest. Uber, third biggest. NVIDIA, you wouldn't have guessed since June that all of these companies would be that big. Now, where are the losers? Since June, it's Tesla. And Tesla may come out of the core portfolio, to be perfectly honest, but it's just got too much wrong with it. Pepsi's down 8%. Boeing is down 3%. Roblox is down 3% because I bought that one. Again, June, it was over 40. And I don't try and time these buys. Even Apple. Look, Apple's lagging. It's 1.16 versus last June when I bought 100 shares of it. So, take a look at the core portfolio if you want to see my real performance and stuff. If we look at allocation, Lilly was the one that I bought at the most expensive. So the price was the most expensive because what I do with this core portfolio is I buy 100 shares. 100 shares. So you can see Lilly here, it cost me $542 per share. Today it is worth $17,000. So total cost was $54,000. Current holding is $72,000. So, but it's not a bad way of putting together a portfolio of stocks if you're just new. It's probably not a horrible way of doing that. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to go from the bottom up. I don't have any links down there. No. Pins on Thursday. We're going to do SMCI versus NVIDIA. We're going to do Fortinet. We're going to do AMZN. We're going to do a review of Spotify. We're going to do a review Lilly. We're going to look at NXPI because that's semiconductors. We're going to look at Simon Property Group. We're going to look at Palantir. Hey, we have some insider information from Brandon. China is not done yet. This I agree with. China's dangerous. Nah. Let me put this. That's China. We're going to look at that one. We're going to look at this one. And I'm going to open up the Facebook group. Yeah. I mean, this is perfectly written from TrendSpider right here. I'm going to wait for the pullback. At 500, you're just sitting on the bench. At 600, you're just like, oh, I should get in. 700, which is where it's at now. Yeah. Here, Norin, I just had this discussion with Christina, I think her name is, on Instagram. And I'm going to pull that one up. Here's the deal. An SMCI, you want to, if you're losing sleep, or if you're feeling like a greedy jackass, or if you're feeling anything of the sort on SMCI, get out. You've got your gains. Understand, this could pull back to this volume shelf right here at 467, 468. That's where the most people bought from this point forward. I mean, if we bring this up to just the time where, it kind of covered the gap almost, I guess, but 318 was when the algorithm told you to get in. Where are most people holding? Well, right now there's a shelf building up here at 668. There's a shelf at 543. There's a shelf at 587. So some of these people might start getting out. So, yeah, you don't know the books. But Norin, for me, I'm going to look at the charts on this one. I'm going to look at the charts. I'm going to look at the PE. I'm going to look at the valuation of the company. I'm going to look at the NVIDIA earnings that are coming up. That's what I'm looking at. And I'm saying to myself, I don't think there's anything necessarily to worry about. But as it starts to pull back, remember, I doubled down. I bought as much as I have in my in my brokerage portfolio. I bought in my retirement portfolio so that if I do go up 100% and then it goes back down about 50%, I don't lose money overall, and I don't have a tax event. I can hold on for the long term and only pay 15% capital gains instead of 46% income. So I'm not getting into options, man. That's one that I ain't getting into options. But okay, I'm going to hit record now. There's got to be more than 13 people in here, I think. That's a good thing, right, Brandon? See, I know nothing about options. I know nothing. I don't want to know. Let's see. We opened up, so let's see how my stocks are doing. I mean, I'm run by Apple, so I could probably just look at Apple. Even though we were down yesterday, I was way up. I am up 0.05. 0.05. Yeah, it looks like the markets are green. 0.05. Not horrible. I mean, I'm not at all-time highs in my portfolio. Morning, Cecilia. Let's see where my Weeble is. My Weeble is at 4,400. I have not gotten a lot of stock from Weeble in the past few days, so people aren't signing up with the link tree. Okay. Fidelity, your account balance is getting low. What? Hold on. Bum bum. Oh, what is that? Oh, wow. How do I owe that much on my credit card? From to, we'll do. No. There we go. I don't know how I got that much on my credit card. I don't know what I bought. Did I pay something on my credit card that I don't remember? Closing. Oh, that was all the Christmas gifts. That's what it was. Closed on January 12th. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. 0.11, I'm up. SMCI. I mean, what you want to do is you want to look at a 5-minute chart if you're getting nervous on it. So what did it do yesterday? This was the channel that we saw yesterday, and it just immediately shot up. Now, today the Bollinger Bands are cinching up. We're down below the 9-day, so my guess is that this might come down. So your guess is as good as mine. The MACD had to come down I'm seeing a little bit of divergence here because we've got this going on right here on a 5-minute chart. Look at that. I mean, that to me tells me you're bullish. So I probably should buy more, to be honest with you. Should get my laptop in here and buy more. I think this one pops back up to 700 today. So, but your guess is as good as mine. Let me make sure this. Yep, it doesn't show up. I'm not seeing divergence on this one. So as you move up on the chart from a time frame perspective, I'm not seeing that. Okay. Let me hit record. Yeah, the number of participants is wrong on here. It's stuck at 13. Hold on. I might cancel that mofo out. We're going to get out of there. Daddy's going to get paid again. Because let's go back into this. Yes, I got paid again. Woohoo! Yeah, there's 40 people in here. That's what I thought. And we'll go live. There we go. Okay. I thought that was wrong. Okay, I'm going to hit record and we'll start going. Good morning. It is Tuesday, February 6th. And we will go over a bunch of stuff. There's particularly a couple of things with Josh Brown's newsletter that I particularly like about how to trade earnings, how the media reports earnings, and some AI investments that maybe you don't know about. China isn't done. We'll go over earnings, Palantir, NXPI, LICY, Spotify. Today, after hours, AMZN, Fortinet. And tomorrow, before the bell, we got Baba, Roblox, Uber, Disney, ARM, and PayPal are after the bell. We'll go over SMCI versus NVIDIA, the PE, some of the things that I see where I think SMCI is going. Pinterest is reporting, and then social requests, and then the scans. So let's start the day with, we already opened up. It's now 9:45, and the market Qs is up 0.14. That's typically what I try and follow. That's the index that I just have not been able to beat for years. We talked about the button hook happening up here. It did happen, but the algorithm didn't get you out. The algorithm is way smarter than I am. So if you're interested in the algorithm, again, TrendSpider, you can go over to Linktree, linktr.ee/daily stock pick, and it's the top one. You can use code DSP25 for 25% off. You have a 7-day trial for $29. What you do is you go over to Linktree, sign up for TrendSpider, and then you're going to email me, and I will email you back the algorithm, everything of that sort, blah, 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 the whole thing. But we talked about a button hook, and the button hook happened. Algorithm didn't get you out. Again, the algorithm makes you 32% in just the Qs over 24 months. You know what you get if you bought it 24 months ago and you just held it? 19%, almost double what you would have had. So the algorithm works. It's very good. It's very good. So it works on some, not on others. But we'll talk about some of the stocks too today. One thing that I wanted to point out, we have a private Facebook group. And again, on the Linktree, you can join the private Facebook group. You just have to answer who hosts the daily podcast, Daily Stock Pick podcast. So Numbers Guy joined yesterday. I want to point this out. Joined yesterday and then posts this in this stunning evidence that NerveGen has the goods. This is what he posted. It's a news article from stockhouse.com. I want to point this out, and I will delete this afterwards. I mean, Numbers Guy is still in there, but I'm going to delete this whole thing. If you want to read it, join the Facebook group and read it. Not the article. Just read the comments. I urge you not to read the article. I don't know if there's spam on there. I did read the article. It is horrific. It is nothing more than an absolute pump and dump. Absolute pump and dump. This is a guy who joins the group, has 7 friends on Facebook, joins the group yesterday, 7 friends on Facebook, okay? And says, this one's going to pop. I said, likely it's just a pump and dump. Good return. I would talk about it, but it's super small cap. There's like 1 million shares existing. Dude says he owns it for 5 years now. I don't even think this stock has been around for 5 years. So this is just something you want to avoid. It's just a classic example of something you want to avoid. He fully admitted he owned it for 5 years, didn't want to trade it. His money's managed by a professional manager, he says. I asked, well, what's the professional manager's return? And he's like, yeah, I don't know. I just do these bets every now and then. Yeah, be careful. So that's why the Facebook group is private. That's why it's there. Earnings seasons. This is a great newsletter from Josh Brown from February 5th, so just yesterday, how the media covers earnings season. And it's super interesting. If you're playing earnings and you don't understand how earnings actually work to the point where the media covers it and the market reaction, this is a really good newsletter to read. Understand that something like Intel, all the numbers were baked in for Intel. Everything except for the guidance. And the guidance didn't meet the street's estimates, and so they dinged the stock. It wasn't perfect, but it wasn't as bad as what the media is saying that it was. So what he's pointing out is the number hits at 4 o'clock, 4:15, the conference call begins, and by 5:30, the narrative is already set. The press has their take, and the take will usually be an amalgam of the tweets that sent from investors and a few snippets they pulled from the company's release. This is it. This is exactly, it's a class 101 on how the media covers earnings. So understand, you're trying to create your own narrative. That's exactly what's happening in the media. So understand, this is exactly what happens. I think it's a really good article if you want to read it. In another one, and this one's from January 31st, he went over another way to play AI trend this year. And I like this. Some stocks here's a quote from Josh Brown's newsletter. Alphabet and Microsoft probably going to be, let me see, where is it? I'll read it directly from here so you can see it on screen. Services stocks, let me see. I don't know where it is, but I'll read it from my notes. Alphabet and Microsoft are probably going to be the biggest platform players and the most adept at weaving AI services into their existing software products. Arista Networks and Supermicro supply critical components to the build-out of AI-enabled data centers. Again, that's important. Arista Networks and Supermicro computers. Of course, there's NVIDIA and AMD, the premier semiconductor companies supplying GPUs and nonlinear processors, and the related software that allow for AI workflows to amaze and delight end users of the technology. So this entire thing goes through all of his thoughts. Now, you can listen to his podcast. You can listen to everything. He is super up on this. Now, he's in SMCI. Understand, he's talking his own book. He is 100% talking his own book. But in this newsletter, there's a few stocks that we want to take a look at. First is SMCI, which is in the core portfolio, which hopefully you haven't slept on. It's at 656 right now. This will probably be at 700. It was 700 in the pre-market, so it probably will go back to 700 at some point in time. It means it's got that price in the stock. We'll go over SMCI a little bit later because they've already had their earnings. Understand, they've already had their earnings. The catalyst on that one is out. The one where the catalyst is just coming in is NVIDIA. This was also in his newsletter. NVIDIA is coming out February 21st. Now, I've said this for many times, and I left this in the newsletter yesterday. I left these notes in. Trading between 4 and 500, it's putting in a nice shelf here. That's a big range, 4 to 500. You didn't want to miss out by buying it at 480, but you also didn't want to, buy it at 410 because you thought it might slip to 300. Psychology of trading. I understand every one of you. That's what it is. Then there's an old note that I put in. That's an old note above. Expect this one to get to 600 before earnings, and if justified, to 650. Well, where did it start going? It started going up when SMCI said, we don't have enough people, we don't have enough parts to do all of the AI installations that we need to do. And what does that mean? That means NVIDIA is selling out of their chips. That means NVIDIA has pricing power. Both of these old notes show how right the trend has been. Do you get in at 685? We'll talk about it a little bit later because I have some thoughts on valuation on that. Another one, and this is one that I own, AMD. This does not have a catalyst. It does not have a catalyst because they've already had earnings. This one is, let's see, it's down 2%. It's at 169. It is a little bit expensive. Understand, this one is expensive. They gave guidance that said, hey, our AI chips are going to be a little bit delayed. The PE is 326. The forward PE is 31. That is an incredibly high price to pay for somebody that's just getting into that. So I would argue NVIDIA is probably your short-term player. AMD may be your long-term player because if they can take some share away. But do your own research. The one that he mentioned that I think has an opportunity is Arista Networks. And this one, their earnings are coming out February 12th, so next week. Arista Networks has just been killing it. I don't think that these guys get the SMCI type bounce. They very well could, but I don't think that they do. ANET it's run. We'll take a look at this. The PE is 45. The forward PE is 37. I think they kill it, but over 1 year, it's up 104%. Its 52-week range is between 129 and 276. You're 2% from the up top. Its target price is 255. So, and that's all from the last year. The most recent price, December 14th, Citigroup put it in as a buy from 220 to 300. So great, you have 10% in the stock. If they blow away earnings, if they don't, you're probably pulling back to the 250 mark. 240, somewhere in that neighborhood. So, ANET, pretty good one. Another one, two other ones that he mentioned, which are just killers, and you want to get into Microsoft and Google. Both of them have just ways of putting it in, putting AI into their services. One that he doesn't talk about that I continue to think is an AI play is Apple. These guys have, hundreds of millions, if not billions of devices out on Earth. But you add in all the devices that they have that could connect to Siri if they start monetizing some type of AI play on Siri. I like it. Again, read the newsletter. Understand it's a really good way to play AI. I think there's some really good names in there. We'll go over SMCI in a little bit. One thing that I want to point out to you, Kyle Bass, who is I call him a China expert. I mean, I know he's done some other things, but I do think he's a China expert. And he says every single property developer in China that's public or listed is in default. This is just like the U.S. financial crisis on steroids. Imagine regulators blaming a 15-year swoon on their stock market on short sellers. If you haven't been paying attention, China is blaming short sellers. They've stopped short selling. Their small caps are down like 30, 40%. You're going to have problems getting out of this as it free falls. So Baba reports after hours on Wednesday, before hours on Wednesday. I'd rather you play Uber, but Baba might be an interesting one. I just don't think that China's done. Now, China's demise helps our economy in a way, certain ways. It hurts our economy in other ways, but again, I think that one. Palantir, if you guys got into Palantir, high five. By the way, Josh Brown, ACAN, GL. I'll put all this in the newsletter, and I'll put some charts in there for you, but there's 3 service sectors, AI services that he talked about. Earnings, Palantir, off the charts. I've noticed, let's see, we'll look at the Palantir chart. I saw... it's up at 21. I mean, it just continues to soar. You have to hold 1980. 1980 is a key price for today that you want to hold. If we pull this back here and we look at the last time it reached 20, where's a volume shelf? It's right there at 1980. So you want to hold that 1980. Right now, you have no fear of holding that 1980. You're trading at 21.27. It has even popped as the market opened. More people are getting into this one. Jim Cramer says he finally likes this one, so be aware. It's a little bit dangerous because of the pop. It is expensive. Palantir is just one of those names that will pop and then it will drop. I don't want you buying here at 21. I want you to wait for 3 days and then see how this shakes out. If it comes back under 20, buy it. I've held this for many, many, many months, probably since August. Probably even before that, I think in June. I said you can buy this at 12. I think it pops to 20. It popped right here to 16. You can see in June it popped up to 20. You can see here in November it popped up to 21. I think you're setting up for that next leg up to 25. But I want you to wait for 3 days. The PE is 231. The forward PE with the guidance is still 55. There's 2 upgrades today. Jefferies ups them to 22. Citigroup today upgrades them to 20. So I want you to wait for 3 days. The average target price is still 18 and you're trading at 22. It is hype. So understand that's what you want to do. One of the core portfolio, Simon Property Group, killed it. Just killed it. Simon Property Group is up 3% today, 141. You can read about that in the charts. One that I don't have the core portfolio, but had a really good earnings, NXPI. Semiconductors. Semiconductors are killing it. If you don't know which semiconductors to buy, you can buy SOXL. You can buy SOXX. SOXX is the ETF for semiconductors. Now, SOXL is a triple levered ETF. It just got you out with this 13% gain. Okay? It may get you back in right now. With NXPI going up, with NVIDIA coming out soon, this one may be one to come back. If you think that semiconductors have run too much and you want to short this, the one SOXS has you in at $5.03. We talked about this when AMD reported. If you got into SOXS in the algorithm at 503, I did not. I said this might be a play. You would have made your 10%. If you peaked it out. I thought that this gap up here between 597 and 615 was in play. It's not. It lost its confirmation. We just continue to go higher. So here's an article with the other big movers. Chegg, AI is killing that company. It's a learning company, but it's just killing it. Palantir, and we talked about BP soars as the company ramped up its buyback. The energy's just, again, I'm debating about taking other energy stocks out of the core portfolio. It took Devon out yesterday. I'm debating about others. Eli Lilly, this is in the core portfolio. This is a killer. I was just showing on Savvy Trader. If you're not signed up for Savvy Trader, I have 2 portfolios. I have a trading portfolio, which I don't trade much in, but it is absolutely killing it and leading every other portfolio in Savvy Trader. If we go year to date, I'm number 1. If we go 3 month, I'm number 1. If we go 1 month, I'm number 1. If we go 1 week, I'm number 1. So peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter jelly time. Where you at? Where you at? But yeah, I'm number 1. The one that I want to tell you about, though, is really the core portfolio. So it does cost you to subscribe to the trading portfolio. Feel free to do it. I give it away in my newsletter anyway. But feel free, if you want to see when I do the trades, feel free to sign up and pay. But the core portfolio is just 34 names where I bought 100 shares of each stock. Now, we'll go to the all-time and the allocation. And you see, Lilly is the top allocation. But Lilly also is up 33%. The reason is because I bought it at $500. So I bought it at $542. I bought it at $542. Cost me $54,000. Current value is $72,000. So if you want to follow this portfolio, you can follow it based on the gainers. But again, this was bought at the all-time highs of June. Well, I should say 52-week highs of June. This portfolio was losing money. The point of this is you can buy a group of stocks, hold on to them, and lose money in the short term, And if you don't lose sleep over that and you understand that good companies with good products and good earnings and good management produce good results, then you can sleep at night. But this, they're not all winners. Boeing, I'm down 2% on. Coke, I'm down 2% on. Tesla, I'm down 32% on. I am considering pulling this out of the core portfolio. Reason is good companies with good products, with good earnings, but good management is the question. And it's not Elon. It is his decisions on these things. It's his distractions from the company. So understand that Eli Lilly killed it. I still think it's a good one. Spotify earnings absolutely killed. They're up 7% on nothing more than increased users. So I like Spotify. I broadcast on Spotify. They pay me. They killed it. I own the stock in my Webull account, so I like it. We just talked about Lilly killing it. AMZN's earnings are after hours. Let's see. Today's earnings after hours. We can go and we look at AMZN. I've said AMZN with the weight loss. I think this is good. We heard yesterday that their weight loss drug was looking promising. I don't know that they necessarily give any additional details on the weight loss drug, but AMZN, we talked about Lilly versus Novo in the before when I was setting up for the podcast. Lilly's PE is 135. Forward PE of 42. Novo Nordisk, NVO, which is the other weight loss drug, which is Wegovy. There's PE is less. It's 43 and 29. If we look at AMZN, which doesn't have a weight loss drug right now, but it looks promising. Now, understand, drugs like this, you could continue to probably just, not have it approved, continue on. Maybe it doesn't show good results. The PE is 23 and the forward PE is 16. This is a bet. If their PE goes up to Novo and goes up to Lilly, then you're looking at probably a $400 to $500 stock. Now, that's not in the range of the analysts. They're saying 320, 326, 300. Where you're trading, you're 326. So understand that even the analysts are not banking on that drug being an amazing, amazing drug, but they do have earnings. It's interesting. There's another one that I like today, and that's Fortinet. Full disclosure, I don't think AMZN will probably be up more than a couple of percent. I could be wrong, unless they give some weight loss drug results or something. And usually you don't do that on the earnings call. So I don't expect that, but we could see. Fortinet has earnings today after the bell. I like this one to fill this gap up to 75. I mean, now, here's what you have to know about this one. Look at the past two earnings on this. The past two earnings, we've had quite a different reaction from the earnings. The last earnings here, well, I should say we've had the same reaction look at the past three. The first one here is February of last year. This is the earnings that they did last year at this time. And it gapped up here from 54 to 60. This one, we gapped down the next earnings, which was August, from 75 down to 61. And then we gapped down from 57 all the way down to 50. So understand that these had two bad forward guidance. I completely expect this one on some guidance to fill this back up to 75. If this quarter was good, I think we're going to see the same thing. Now, it's run into the earnings, so if they don't give anything like super, super positive, I would expect it to pull back to this 50-day right at that volume shelf at about 62. But I like Fortinet, and part of the reason I like Fortinet is, here's the earnings preview, by the way, that you can do, is because in the quant, Fortinet is actually the number 2 software stock, system software stock. And I think it's PagerDuty is the number 1. Path is the number 1. Path is the number 1. So, but I like this one. The only issue is Fortinet's valuation. And I don't think that is crazy. That is not something to put this stock down with. Now, their forward is 40. If they do increase in guidance, then you'll see the stock actually rise because the PE will come down. But understand, Pan W, their forward PE is 52. CrowdStrike, if we look at that one, their forward PE is 81. And these stocks are still holding up. So, yeah, Fortinet, I like this one. Again, it's cybersecurity. Wednesday, like I said, we have before the bell, BABA. BABA is up, I think, today. Let's see, 2.69. People are trying to time the bottom. I'd rather not. It has a cross up here at 75, like we said yesterday. You're at 76.59. When are you going to time the bottom? I don't want to get into China. Roblox is after the bell today. If you can get in under 40, or I'm sorry, it's before the bell tomorrow. If you can get in under 40, I think you buy it. I think you buy it for the pump. The glasses that came out with Apple Vision Pro, I think Roblox has the metaverse signed up right now. I don't know if metaverse is available in the Apple Vision Pro. I'd assume it is, but I just don't know. But Roblox, one to look at. The biggest one that we have tomorrow before earnings is the other one in the core portfolio. Again, Roblox is in the core portfolio. It's just one that I like buying under 40. Uber. Uber's at an all-time high. Uber's valuation is crazy, but everybody that's reported, Amazon included, with advertising. Google said their advertising went down. That's why the stock went down. Amazon said that their advertising went up. Uber has an advertising business. I think this is going to kill it, but understand the PE is 139. The forward PE is 62. This is at all-time highs. The average target price is 69.15. You're trading at 69.20. Again, I don't know that I'd necessarily get into this one, but it's just on valuation that I would be a little bit careful of this one. If we go over to Uber on Seeking Alpha, we can take a look. And Uber, the valuation is D-. The quant is hold. DoorDash may be the favorite to win Super Bowl. Brand buzz, MD. But again, I own Uber. I own Uber for a long time. It's at 4. I think I'm in at 40. I bought some in the 30s, didn't dollar cost average it well enough, but I think my average price is about 40 to 45. I like Uber. Solid play. Disney, ARM, and PayPal. One that I have to warn you about tomorrow is PayPal. Remember the Shock the World event that they said they would have? Kind of getting sick of it. Want to see this earnings call. Want to see what they say. If this is the turnaround, we've been capitulating right here. So the Bollinger Bands are cinching up right before earnings. It'll be interesting because if this one, if they give bad guidance, if they give some bad news, I think you're back down here in the 50s. And I think I'm done with it. At that point, I think I'm done with it. I'm selling out. I'm getting out. ARM is an interesting one because all of these chips are built on the ARM. They pay license fees to ARM. And to develop new chips, they have to pay ARM. And so this IPO was an absolute disaster, starting up here at 66, getting down to 49. The algorithm makes you 24%. Buying and holding makes you 30% on this one. It doesn't have 24 months to actually test back. So it's just got a little bit. It exemplifies why I don't like IPOs. Wait until you get a 200-day. I would still wait until you get a 200-day. The problem is I think this one's going to cross up here. See how it's crossing up and the RSI's in no man's land? I think it might be a good time to buy. 73. It's extended. Understand it is extended. It's fairly expensive here. They're not making money. Well, I'm sorry. This may be their second earnings, so they just don't have enough information. Let's take a look at ARM in Seeking Alpha. They can usually give us a better sense of where it is. Seeking Alpha analysts say sell. Quant, it's not covered. Wall Street says buy. You make up your mind. It just doesn't have enough information. I think you may be able to take a chance on that one. But, okay. So let's take a look at, and Disney, by the way. Disney's Disney. If they announce something big, you'll see a pop up over 100. Buy it in the 90s for long term. SMCI versus NVIDIA. What I wanted to do was chart some things, and specifically the PE. And this is a 1-year chart of the PE of SMCI and NVIDIA. You can see how NVIDIA has become cheaper. As their earnings have grown, it's actually become cheaper to buy. So back here in 7/27/2023, when they were running up this whole time, and that's where the earnings were in, and then AI came in, and all of a sudden Nvidia could basically rip off someone's left arm, and they'd say with their right arm, "Can I buy your chip?" And that would be it. And so it got cheaper. And you just ran with the earnings here. It just, it kind of, we talked about NVIDIA during this time, just kind of trading in between 400 and 500, nothing huge. And then earnings came out and it got cheaper. Hopefully you bought more when it was at 54, because today it's at 87. It's not extended. Again, they have to provide some type of forward guidance that gives them even more. But SMCI at 45, it's gotten a little bit expensive compared to history. Now, the difference is NVIDIA is providing the hardware platform for SMCI to provide the services. It's whichever one you want to buy. But NVIDIA today, let's see where NVIDIA is. It will get over 700. It got over 700 yesterday. It's at 680 right now. It's down 1.29%. SMCI will get back over 700. It's at 645 right now. If you take a look at a 5-minute chart, that's what we were just looking at with the Bollinger Band cinching up, and it was losing some type of confirmation. And it's on the downside. I would not buy it right now on the 5-minute. I would wait for some type of support, maybe around 627 or so. But is this the downturn? This is what I saw in the 5-minute, by the way. And I pointed this out on the YouTube Live. You've got divergence here. And for anyone that wants to know what divergence is, in my newsletter, I go over divergence right there. What it is, how you can identify it. It's just basically one indicator's going one way, another indicator's going another. Price action is going up, but RSI is going down. That means a reversal is coming. And the reversal down has started. Where does it come down? Maybe it covers this gap to 581. Maybe it hits this volume shelf at 626. You have to watch it. Am I getting out of SMCI? No. I've got it in my retirement account. When the 4-hour tells me to get out, I will get out. But I'm not jumping the gun on this one. You can see on a 4-hour, we still have confirmation. We haven't even started to turn around yet. You have a candle that's outside yesterday's afternoon candle. So I think we still have some bullish trends in this. And I think, the volume shelves are building up here between 652 and 681. So I think you'll be fine. But SMCI, NVIDIA, I think you're fine. SMCI, by the way, just so you're aware, had an insider buy from a director. If we go over here to FinViz and we take a look, SMCI, dude bought 1.13 million. 2,000 shares at 568. So understand, that's probably your base right now at 568. This is a director. So you can see before this, everybody was selling. The last one was August 11th. Dude bought, the same director bought 4,000 shares at 265. He's putting $1 million in every time he's buying. So, look at the same dude. Bought at 133. Bought 400,000. This dude's just been ringing the cash register on these buys. Okay, that director, solid guidance. He's buying at 588. So if you want to wait for a pullback, I don't know that we'll get back to 588, but it's going to be NVIDIA earnings that will kick this one off. Pinterest. If we look at Pinterest deal with Amazon may lead to Google pact. So Piper Sandler is saying that there might be a partnership with Pinterest and Google. The Amazon deal with Pinterest pushed it out. This has the earnings on Thursday. This is an interesting one. Elliott Management is in this. The PE is crazy. Understand that this one and Snap, I think, are kind of go hand in hand. Snap's earnings, I think they're Thursday as well, if I'm not mistaken. Snap earnings are today. Let's see. Snap earnings are today after the bell. I own this one. I own small amount of shares, not a huge amount, but I do own it. You can see we're capitulating right here in between the 15 and 19 realm. 17, if we go over here to FinViz and we take a look at Snapchat, its average target price is 14. You're trading at 17. Most recently, Piper Sandler today upped its price from 12 to 17. Might be a risk. Again, these guys aren't making money. That's the problem with Snapchat. But if they show some type of user growth and some other stuff, you can see, the MACD's moving down, overbought since October, moving down, but the price action is just moving to the side. That either means that we're going to cinch up and we're going to go down, or we're going to cinch up and we're going to go up. So keep an eye on both pins and Snap. Pins is Thursday. I think it's going to trade on Snap stuff today. Limit up. ACLS. I've owned it for a few years. I'm wondering if it's time to take profits or double down. ACLS. What is ACLS? I don't even know. ACLS. Excelis Technologies. You've owned it for a couple of years? I wonder how it's doing long term. Let's see. Solid long term, bad short term. I can tell you from it hit that 200 mark and moved down 37%. I think my guess is, let's see, you're putting in pretty good volume shelf right there. I mean, if you look at it, you've got this move back, so you've got some type of support being held here between 121 and 134. From a short-term perspective, my algorithm makes you, by the way, 69% versus 107% buy and hold. Algorithm has you out right before earnings. I don't know enough about this stock to ACLS. Let's see. ACLS, Excelis, semiconductor, PE of 18, forward PE of 16. They do report earnings. Their average target price is 165. You're trading at 128. Most recent downgrade, buy to neutral. So nobody, back in September, Bank of America thought it was worth 225. It never got to that 52-week range of 105 to 201. Why is a semiconductor? I mean, this is what I would worry about, ACLS. Why is a semiconductor at a time that is, semiconductors are just killing it? Why is this one so bad? That's what I would worry about. And it's 17 of 29. It's in its thing. What's number one? PLAB, semiconductor equipment. I'm at a loss. I wouldn't double down on it. I'd rather miss the first 10% that I'd get. For me, I don't know the name, so I'd probably get out. But if you know something about it, great. Jay Ferrulo, 2 AI-related stocks. VRT. VRT I know nothing about, but it's been, hyped up, looks like. 48.42 is the buy-in on the algorithm. This one's running. VRT, let's take a look at the valuation on this one. Industrials, electrical equipment and parts, PE of 92, forward PE of 26, up 25% year to date. Looks like everybody's upgrading this one. Take it with a grain of salt. Doesn't look like insiders are getting into this. What do they do? Engages design, manufacture, and services of critical digital infrastructure technology that powers, cools, deploys, secures, and maintains electronics that process and store, transmit data. Yeah, it's an electrical service. This is kind of like an SMCI, I think. But VRT, we can go over here to Seeking Alpha and look at VRT. It's very similar to SMCI, I think. But the other one that they name is a really good one, too. Let's see. 6 out of 71. This is Powell Industries. Powell Industries is the one that, ironically, Alpha Picks, which I put in yesterday, is on sale. It's on sale on Thursday. Not yesterday. I put it in that it was on sale yesterday. But Thursday, Alpha Picks goes down from $99 to $89. This is one of their top picks, Powell Industries. So Vertiv, I don't think it's a bad one. But I think Powell Industries might be the better one. And here's where Powell Industries is. You can look at all of the Powell Industries stuff. Right here, Alpha Picks. If you join Alpha Picks for $100, how do you join it? Well, you go down here. It's $99 right now, so you're only saving $10 on Thursday. But if you want to save $10, wait until Thursday. There's no rush to do it because it's not like a daily publication. But if you want to rebalance your portfolio, if you want to see what's actually winning in Alpha Picks, you go over here. You get subscribed to it. What's really impressive about Alpha Picks is the performance up here. And it's 97% versus the S&P, which is 31%. And what they give you access to is basically everything that's in there. So you see the entire portfolio. You see when it was picked. And in fact, the next one I'll show you that Jay Ferrulo asked is MOD. Modine, I think is what it's called. Let me look real quick. We're going to do it by alphabetical order. And Modine Manufacturing. You can see Modine was picked in 12/15/22 and 1/2/24. So basically what they do, it's not for somebody who's trading every day. These guys buy on the beginning of the month, they buy in the middle of the month, and I think at the end of the month, and they take things out every now and then. But Modine Manufacturing, you can see 1/2/24, they have a 17% gain. Modine Manufacturing from 12/15/22, that is a 240%, and it's a strong buy. So if we look at Modine Manufacturing, you'll see it in here. If you have Seeking Alpha Premium, you then go over and you can do your own research into Modine. It's ranked number 1 in their industry out of 34, which is the auto parts and equipment stocks. I don't know why it's in that. If it's an AI stock, I have no idea. I haven't researched this one. But Modine and VRT, I think you're good on both. Honestly, I think you're good on both. But make sure you're buying on some type of pullback. You don't want to buy just because it's hyped up. I mean, the RSI is a little bit high. It's at 61. They just had their earnings, so they don't have really a catalyst. You can see the volume's kind of trending down. I'd kind of wait for it to die down a little bit. But MOD has been an alpha pick. Shep from Spotify, I'm up 140% in 2 months in SMCI. Am I holding till 800, 1,000 or more? In under 300 per IRA account, about 50K initial investment. Currently, it's 25% of my IRA. So, SMCI we went over. I mean, listen, I don't know if it's going to 800. I don't know if it's going to 1,000. You have to watch the charts. You have to understand, yes, this is a hype play. Yes, this is an AI play. Yes, this has some type of top. I don't know where it's at. Nobody knows where it's at. Are you going to pull back? For instance, were you buying down here at 258 when I said that there was a gap here at 341? Were you buying here, at 300 when I said, yeah, there's a gap here. It's got to fill it. Were you buying here and you went down to 260? Well, if you believe in this stock, you can buy more. Don't think that just because it's 25% of your IRA, play the position the way you want to play the position. SMCI is a solid company with growing earnings and in a market that is continuing to grow. Any financial advisor will tell you it's crazy that it's 25% of that's portfolio managers. My history is not that. My history has been let Apple run its course in a taxable account. And in an IRA, I'll trim it every now and then. And I just started trimming it because I just, kind of developed this strategy. You have to develop your own strategy, what works for you. What worked for me in the past with Apple was just buy and hold. I didn't think anything about it. I just bought and held. SMCI, maybe you're buy and hold. I can't tell you if it's going to 800. I can't tell you if it's going back to 700. My hypothesis is it hits 700 in the pre-market. It has 700 in it. But who knows? Again, you don't know. You watch the 5-minute chart. You can watch, if you're getting nervous about it. If this is the Shep, let me give you for instance. If this is the type of thing that you're asking somebody on the internet for help with, get the F out. That's the thing. You have to make up your own mind about this. It's not something that somebody can tell you. If you're asking somebody on the internet because you're losing sleep, get out. It's not worth losing sleep over. I am completely in. I doubled down on my position at about, I think, 600, 590 somewhere. I missed getting in on another position at 620. I will maybe get that chance, but you can clearly see the divergence here in the 5-minute between the RSI, between the MACD, and the stock price. To me, that's bullish. I think you got 700 in the stock, so I will probably buy more. Dan Lunker asked about Riot from Spotify. Bought in at 18. What can we expect in the near future? You can expect future downside. It's got weakness. I mean, everything, Bitcoin's got weakness. So it's an expensive stock. This is a miner. I particularly hold Mara at 26. Am I getting out? No, probably a mistake, but I'll take the loss when I need to. It's in a brokerage account, so I can write that off against my SMCI gains because both of them are short term. So that might be a play that you want to do, is if you have SMCI and you have Riot at 18, take the loss and just write it off against the gains, and you don't pay taxes. Performance over a year, 55%, they're not making money. That's as simple as that. You've got this clear top here at 18. If you bought in at 18, you bought in during the hype, and it's just gone down since. All of the crypto stuff was sell the news, buy the hype, sell the news. Little hot shots, NFG. I don't even know what NFG is. Let's see. NFG, Natural Fuel Gas Company. This is oil and energy. I've been saying oil just hasn't come to fruition. NFG, get the hell out. Devon, I took it out of the core portfolio. I'm still holding. Not a major position. I don't need the cash. So if you don't need the cash, you can let it run. You can, it's got a nice 4.26% dividend, but it is downward. Target price is $58. Most recently, Scotiabank upgraded them to sector outperform. It's as good as I can get for you. NFG, the chart just tells me, get the hell out. It's just telling me, if you look at a long-term chart of NFG, like we did with Devon, and you look at this one, where you're trading at right now, pre-pandemic, you were at, looks like about this price, 54. So, but you have no confirmation of anything going right in this stock right now at all. So a little hot shot, not so hot. Melissa, I've been looking at Infosys. It's tech stock from India with an upward trend and a lot of institutional investors. That's from Melissa on Facebook. Infosys, INFY. I do know a little bit about this company. Not much, but we use them as a consultancy firm, I think. It's a tech stock. I think that's what we use them for. Infosys, it's got confirmation. You've got a top here at 23. If we look at the valuation of this, I think it's going to be a little bit inflated. It's not greatly inflated. P of 23 with a growth stock, forward P of 25. When's their earnings? Let's see. If they had their earnings already, this is a weekly. Let's take a look at the 4 hour. Oh, it's still thinking. There we go. Infosys. It got you in at 18. It's been running up. Got a nice volume level being put in right there. So short term, I think you might be okay. Hold off on it. You might have another leg with the MACD cross up, but that RSI is a little bit high. It's a little bit overbought. They had their earnings. I don't think there's any reason to rush into it. I just think that maybe you kind of hold off on it. Let's see what Infosys, buy. So, they're number 6 of 27 in their IT consulting. Gartner, symbol IT is the top one, Melissa. Scans, Palantir. That's holding at 21. It's holding at 21. So like I said, 1980, I think is the core one. Roblox, we had a cross up on Roblox. It's at $40.09. I think if you're under 40, I think you're okay. Again, if you buy it at 39 and it dips down to 34, this stock has shown it can go back to 40. So it's just an expensive stock, and they've got to continue to provide it. Now, in my own personal portfolio, I own an ETF called IGM. And the reason is it's a tech sector. It's kind of like XLK. And if we go over here and we look at IGM, I just haven't been, trimming it or selling it. It's one that I got into because one of my brokerage firms did not allow me to look at XLK. But IGM, I'm going to edit symbols and I'm going to get rid of a bunch. We're going to get rid of all of these other ones. And I'm just going to look at XLK because that's essentially what it is. IGM, its holdings, it's a little bit different. No, I want XLK, not XLE. It's a little bit different in the holdings, and you can take a look at it. But if we just compare it to XLK, IGM's up 50% over 1 year. Momentum, you can see A, B. Dividends, C+. You don't get a dividend with IGM. I think if you look at the dividends, it's 0.25. XLK is 0.72. So it's a little bit better on dividends. I'm not that worried about dividends. I'm more worried about, I'd rather beat it on growth. Number of holdings, 285 in IGM. There's only 67 in XLK. Assets in the top 10, 54%. XLK has 69% in the top 10. Turnover, they only have 9% turnover, 19% in the XLK. So I do like IGM. It's got a cross up. It's got a cross up, and it's, again, it was a buy at 444. You're at 486. Bulls, BULZ. I don't know what this is. This is the FANG Innovation, 3 times leveraged. So this is Bulls. USD, SDAO, UPRO, R1s, XLC, XLG, ANET. We talked about ANET. This is one, Arista Networks. We talked about it in Josh Brown's newsletter. Its MACD is crossing up. So it's crossing down a little bit today. Today you're down 2.19%, probably because of the run up. But this is one that I think you could buy before the earnings and probably, do very well in. I don't think that this one, while it's a little bit expensive, February 12th, next week, I think this is one you could buy in. All the rest of the scans will be in the newsletter. Sign up for the newsletter. It is free, 100% free, except for the weekends where I do, if you want to know what a button hook is, what divergence is, how I set my price for buy and sell over and under, what a golden cross is, what a PE is. We talked about PE with NVIDIA and SMCI. If any of that stuff doesn't make sense, consider signing up for a free 7-day trial. And you can read everything that I do. I try and leave the weekend newsletters to about a 10 to 15 minute read. If you go into depth and you click the links in the paid newsletter, it could go to 20 to 25, maybe 30 minutes. But for $120 on the year, that is $10 a month. $10 a month, and you get up to 4 paid newsletters. Because, some months don't have 4 weeks. But up to 4. So $10 is less than $2 per newsletter. And trust me, if I were playing piano on the street, yeah, you wouldn't give me $2, but you might as a tip, if I gave you a drink. That's kind of what the paid newsletter is. So, but during the week, it's completely free. And trust me, just SMCI for the people that signed up. And I said, hey, you should get in at this price. And that was completely free. That was not part of the paid newsletter. That was completely free. Go over to Linktree, and you got everything that you need. Seeking Alpha Premium, it's $189 a year. I can't live without it. It is such a great information source, saved me time. Webull, if you're not signed up with Webull and you're not if you're doing sports gambling, sign up with Webull. It's way better during the week, and you have a lot more chance of making money in Webull than you do sports gambling. I'll just put it out there like that. Visible. $20 off your first month. Phone service. If you're paying anything more than $20 a month for your phone service, you're out of your mind, because you can click on that link. You get $20 off your first month. And guess what? Your first month is $20, and it's $20 for the next 2 years. And I have this exact service, the lower one. I do not have the higher service. I have the lower service at $20 a month. So it's a far, far better plan. It's on the Verizon network. It is 100% just what you think that is, and it's $20. So, yeah. And you can do eSIM. So say you're not sure if you want to switch, but you have an iPhone, a newer iPhone, you can just do an eSIM. You go online, you download the SIM, and then later you can port your number in. So you can sign up for the $20 for the first month. You get the first month free, and then you can sign up again and port your number in. Yeah, and get $20 off for the first month again because you're porting your number in. Just use a different email address, I think. But yeah. Any other the support stuff? Thank you guys, Larry and Brandon and everybody who's tipped me over the past couple of days. I posted my YouTube earnings. If you've made money in SMCI, NVIDIA, anything that I suggested, give me $1. Holla for you. I'm hollering for my dollar. Holla for your dollar. Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, they're all down here. Just to say thank you. I'd appreciate it. All of the social networks up here. Any questions that you have, hit me up. I got my email address here, or you can hit me up on any of the socials. Take care. I will be back tomorrow. What earnings are we looking at today? I'm hoping Uber tomorrow, is really solid. I'm a little bit skeptical of it because it's run so much. Today it's Fortinet and AMZN. I like those two. But okay, take care. Bye. Oh man. Okay. Is anybody still here? I don't even know. I still logged in. Let me see SMCI. ANET's down 2%. SMCI. Yeah, see, we're taking off on SMCI. We're taking off. We is taking off. Okay. Let me go and get my computer. Okay. What? MacBook Pro. You can get under there. You don't need me to put you under. You can get under there. You're getting old. You're getting old and needy. Sweet, Anthony. Thank you for replying. Because I think there's nobody here. I think I'm going to buy more SMCI. Yeah. 675. Let's get into Fidelity. Just want more SMCI. Stock Guru. I just went over Fortinet. I just doubled down on SMCI. Let me move this. Move to trash. Fortinet I like. Stock Guru, Fortinet. I like before earnings. Here's and I pointed this out before. Here's a gap to 75 on Fortinet. The issue you're going to have is the valuation and their guidance. The last two earnings that they did with Fortinet had them gap down. So you can see it went from 75 to 61, and then it went from 57 to 50. With this run up, you can see this one kind of tried to fill this gap. It didn't. Before earnings, it did a little run up, not much, but little. This one's run from 50 all the way up to 66. But the problem is really the valuation. PE's 45 and forward PE's 39. That's a little bit high on valuation based on their current guidance. Now, they didn't give great guidance. They may have sandbagged it because CrowdStrike and Palo Alto kind of been good. But this is the problem that you have. Look at all the downgrades of recent. They just didn't give great guidance. And so if you look at Fortinet, let's see, Fortinet, FTNT, Fortinet. There we go. Strong buy on the quant, buy from Wall Street, buy. The valuation's the only thing. It's number 2. In fact, I may buy Fortinet right now. Let me look at the 5-minute on this one. I think this one's a good one. Yeah, I might play this one. Look at the 5. I mean, it's come down. You're right in that volume shelf right there. If we go back here a couple of days where it gapped down and we look to where everybody, it's filled the gap already in a day. Yeah, I like this one. The more I think about it, the more I want it. The problem is my algorithm, which got you in at 53, it loses you 12%. But it's because it keeps getting you in. And you can see the all-time highs at 70s here. I mean, look at that weekly. Just crossed the 50-day. I think your downside is probably 62. That's a good one. Let me look at Fortinet. I think I'm going to buy this. I think I just talked myself into it. I like this one, Fortinet. I'm going to put in a buy for 100 shares. Okay, I bought it 66.17. I like it. God, look at Simon Property Group up 4%. Stock Guru, if you got plenty of cash, deploy it. Palantir, I went over. I think if it's come back. 1980 is the key point on Palantir. If it holds that today, then I think you're good. But it's so overbought right now. I mean, you'd have to go on a 5-minute to kind of see how overbought it is. But take a look. I mean, that's a 5-minute chart. It's rolled over. MACD had to come down and cross down. So you're probably looking at maybe coming back to, I'd say, about 2040. And then maybe you take another stab at it. So, okay, I got to go edit the newsletter. It's 11 o'clock. I will talk